As we continue on with our fall sports season preview interviews, today I'm being joined by the men's and women's cross country head coach here at Wesley, Stephen Kimes. Coach, thank you for taking the time to speak with us and Wolverine Nation. Last season, you had a lot of success from your freshmen and newcomers. Who should Wolverine Nation be having their eyes on this season as we get ready for the season ahead?
Well, ladies first. On the women's side, two talented freshmen, Siani Bennett and Linda Nwinje, join us. Two traditional half milers, 2:20 and a half. So very good half milers who are going to make our women's cross country team stronger in the top five. We also get back Courtney Williams from injury last year. 2 years ago, she ran really good cross country for us. She was one of our top four. And then we get our captain back, Jonte Hankins, who missed last year. So we have four new faces to the women's program. Two had previously been here before, but then we have two newcomers. So we add that to the mix that we have. We should be in good shape on the women's side. On the men's side, we return our top two from last year, Brighton Dawson and Anthony Anastasi. I believe both are somewhere in the top 5 or 6 all-time here already. So they're looking to move up the ladder into potentially the all-time school record. And then we return Jordan Dillard, who ran in our top 5 last year. I think he was our 4th or 5th man. Coach McNulty and I were discussing that the other day. We couldn't remember which one he was. And then Alexander Haber is back. Ian Thorne joins us for the year off from last year. We have freshman Raul Torres, who's going to run for us. He's a 400 runner in high school. We're trying to bump him up into the 800. So he's going to try to see if he can do cross country, I guess. Rex Chege will join us. And then we'll return some of the guys that ran for us last year, like Thomas Coletti Jr., Tyshawn Kozer, John Harriet, and freshman Kai Cole from Virginia will also be on the cross country team.
Cross country is a sport where you see a lot of multi-sport athletes. How does dealing with your multi-sport athletes tie into you training and getting prepared for the meets ahead?
Well, this is the philosophy I've had for since I began coaching. I've always felt that sprinters, especially with the way their rules are set up and everything like that, you don't want someone to come in here and not doing anything until November. So I thought it was really important to take our sprinters and put them on the cross-country team, and they make up well over 50% of our cross-country team. But it gives them an opportunity to get in shape. They have to compete in meets like everybody else. That's a requirement, and it really helps us as we transition into the indoor track season. It gives us a good base going to the indoor track season, and then we're able to put more, speed work earlier on them. If that's your philosophy. Some people train speed first. I've always trained strength first, so it works out really well.
Speaking of transition, we are transitioning into a new conference, and we have a number of meets before we hit the Atlantic East Conference Championship meet. What are you looking to accomplish out of your runners before we get to that meet?
With the men, I feel pretty good about, I know who we have, and, like with our, with Brighton and Anthony, you have two guys that can legitimately run 5-mile races with good times. I feel pretty good about those two. Just getting the guys to come together and just to run and get in shape. And it's not a lot of pressure on this. But like to see just really everybody just really get themselves in shape as we transition into the track season, which we really take really serious here. On the women's side, I feel like there's potential there to have a really good cross-country team this year. I think it's a stronger team than last year if they all come together. I would like to see us go 7 or 8 deep on the women's side. I would have liked to have seen people come back in a little bit better shape, but that's to be expected. Summer is their time, and there's no pressure there. But just to see people, honestly, just to get in shape for track and field. I think we're going to have a really good track and field season, so I want to make sure cross country is used correctly.
That's head coach Stephen Kimes. Coach, thank you for taking the time to speak with us and Wolverine Nation. We look forward to this season.
Go Wesley.
I'm now being joined by the men's cross country captain, Brighton Dawson. Brighton, thank you for taking the time to speak with us and Wolverine Nation. How have you and your teammates been training in the off season and in the summer to get ready for this weekend's meet?
Well, we try to focus on building a good base, and by doing that, we go out on really long runs, 8, 9, 10, 11-mile runs, just trying to really work on our endurance and implementing things like surges and striders to try and get a little speed implement in there.
What goals do you and your teammates have for each other this season?
Well, to start with the team, I think the new conference allows for us to be more competitive than we were last season, so I think we're going to look to really try to establish ourselves as a program. And then for myself, I really just want to build upon last season. I think I had a really strong season, and me and my teammate Anthony Anastasi were able to crack into the school's top 10. So speaking for myself, but I would assume him too, we want to try and climb that ladder and see if we can get a little bit higher this year.
Those are very ambitious goals you guys have for yourselves, and we look forward to watching you achieve that. One last question we have is we like to try to get to know the athletes behind those that produce for Wesley Athletics. One quick question: do you have any pre-race, pre-meet, or post-meet rituals or superstitions that you or your teammates abide in?
I don't know about my teammates, but for myself, usually before the start of a race, I'll take a step or two in front of the start line. Do like 3 or 4 jumps with my knees to my chest, and then I'll say a little prayer to myself, and then from then it's just wait to hear the sound of the gun and hit the ground running.
That's men's cross country captain Brighton Dawson. Brighton, thank you again for taking the time to speak with us. We look forward to this weekend and the meets we have this season.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm now being joined by sophomore captain of the women's cross country team, Jante Hankins. Jante, as a captain of the girls squad, how have you been getting you and your teammates ready for this weekend's meet?
We've just been conditioning and practicing, making sure we're getting our mileage in. We've been hitting the weight room, making sure they're eating correctly, just encouraging them to want to work out and get our mileage and get our paces together, set times and goals so that we can get ready and focus for the meet so that everyone can PR and do well.
Speaking of which, is there anything that you and your girls are looking to accomplish this season?
Yes, we all have set a goal that we want to increase our weight more in the weight room. We want to train harder. As far as times, we haven't really talked about it, but I know for me personally, for the 5K, I would like to break 22 minutes, and for the 6K, I would like to break 27 minutes and hopefully make all conference, as well as our team placing top 5 since we moved to a new division this year.
Those are very ambitious goals, and we are very excited to watch you guys accomplish that this season. One last question here as we try to get to know the person behind the athlete that puts on for Wesley Athletics. Are there any pre-race or post-race snacks or meals that you absolutely have to have in your bag?
I always have to have a banana. I love bananas. I don't know, it just gives me energy. I also do Natural Valley bars. I also tried this new gum. They have this gum called Runner's Gum. It kind of helps relaxes you, so I kind of chew the gum while I'm in mid-race because it helps me relax, keep my pace so that I can finish and do well.
Well, Jante, thank you very much for taking the time out to speak with us and Wolverine Nation. We look forward to seeing the results from this weekend's meet and moving forward this season. We are very excited. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.